What's up, YouTube? Siegfried Chulane here, and today we are coming back with another Genshin Impact video. And today we are going to be talking about Raiden Shogun, my thoughts on her, what I like, what I dislike, as well as her story. That said, let's get this party started. So Raiden Shogun finally came to Genshin Impact. When I found out the leaks about her, I was excited. One thing I will always be doing in this game is summoning for Archons. I will never not get the Archons. So that is because if there's one thing I'm pretty sure of, it's that Archons are going to be the strongest characters in this game, because you can't release the Archon, make them crap, and then people don't complain. We saw it with Zhongli when people were not happy with the Archon that they got there. And he became the best unit in game, especially once he C6. Venti herself, or himself, while I don't preferably like Venti that much, is still one of the best characters in game, especially when it comes to the Abyss and dealing with small enemies. He's really good at that. And as you can see, we got Raiden Shogun. If you've been watching my stream, you saw that I had Raiden. And we also got lucky enough to get her weapon. And by lucky enough, I mean I was given some money by a friend of mine. So I was able to get it. So we do have Raiden with her ideal weapon, which I really like, and for me was pretty important to get. I still don't know why people are calling it the grass cutter. I know that was a leak, but engulfing lightning sounds so much better than grass cutter. So it would be really nice if people stop calling that. But Raiden. So a little bit about history about Raiden. Again, this is going to have some spoilers. I said I'm going to talk about the story, so if you are not wanting any spoilers, please leave now. Because I'm going to go off by giving Raiden's real name, and I'm going to give it for a reason. So if you're still here, I imagine that you're not worried about being spoiled, and you've already played this story. So, Raiden. Her real name is A, which is, again, if you play Honkai Impact, which is a sister game of this, that has definitely a direct connection to Raiden's name in that game, which is Mei. Raiden A and Raiden Mei. Now, I personally prefer Raiden Mei in Honkai Impact, mostly because of a Hersher of Thunder. Again, Raiden Mei is a Hersher of Thunder, and Raiden is the Lightning God, is the Lightning Archon, which again makes sense because Raiden is connected to lightning. I do definitely prefer her Honkai version. I do think her Honkai version would have been better. I think she should be personally using a katana. I would have much preferred just directly that version of her. But I do like this version, and I do think she looks very nice. I mean, I love the Japanese style of dressing, which, to be fair, Raiden Mei does not have. Although, if I ever get any of the really good characters from Honkai, Vermilion Night Eclipse, Hersher Flame Sion, man, I'm going to freak out. If they ever brought Raiden Mei, Hersher of Thunder in this game, I would definitely be replacing her. The Hersher of Thunder will replace this Raiden at any point in time. Now, one thing that has been annoying me is people calling her Ball. I think that's honestly, I really think that's annoying because nobody calls Zhongli Morax. Her name is not Ball. That was the name of the, well, that's what's irritating. It's like, I honestly haven't heard her be called Ball once in game. And I'm sure it's happened once or twice, but every time I've seen her name, it's Raiden Shogun or A for finally. So honestly, I can't call her Ball, and it kind of frustrates me that people are calling her Ball, especially since that's not her name. That was just more the leak, just like this blade being called the grass cutter. So let's go about what I like about her. One, her E. Her E is, you know what, I like the passive E's. I like Albedo's E. And I think if you have Albedo Z and her E out, you're doing so much passive damage, it's crazy. If you run her alongside Zhongli and Albedo, she's going to be a boss killer, you know? If you're running Zhongli, Raiden, Albedo, and, let's say Eula, any big creatures are going to die pretty quickly. With that said, a major downside of both Zhongli and Albedo especially is that their E that creates the strength that does damage tends to get destroyed. And so for Albedo, one thing that keeps me from playing him, which is going to allow Raiden to more replace him, is that Raiden does not get destroyed. Meaning she will do continual damage to bosses like the Wolf or Childs or any of those bosses that can break honestly will break that construct. Her ultimate was honestly somewhat difficult to figure out fully, and I was just worried about. I never understood why I was doing so little damage. It was kind of irritating me, and then I realized I didn't actually have it full charged. I do understand why they have the charge system in it, to be honest, but I don't like it. I think that, especially with her first, honestly, Constellation getting rid of the charge system, I personally would have preferred the Constellation just increasing the damage overall, giving it increased charges. Like, if the first one was like, you know, okay, now you get 40, you get like 80 charges instead of 60, I would have been better. Or like 50, like base 50 and the max 60, I would have felt better. Even though it would have been, honestly, in theory, not much of a difference. Or not in theory, in usage, not much difference. For me, I do suffer from a bit of OCD, so the fact that I, you know, have to repeat, run back over and over again to other characters instead of what I want to do, which is pretty much a rotation of ultimates, is somewhat frustrating. But, I mean, like, there are going to be certain situations I'm going to set up for it. Again, you can run 80s. That's the other issue, is that it really requires her to have 3 80s to be able to do one rotation. And Zhongli is a 40, and both Rosaria and Kazuha are 60s. So, I'm only getting, 160 over the 340. So, I'm only getting half of what I need. That's somewhat frustrating. No, not half. I'm getting a third of what I need, because I'm pretty much 2 80s I would need. I'm short 80, and that requires, again, pretty much 40 times of getting energy, which have to be 3 seconds apart, which is 120 seconds. Again, I wouldn't mind so much if the energy, like if that one didn't have the 3 seconds. So I definitely don't like the cooldown between getting stacks from gaining energy. I think that shouldn't be there. And I do feel that damage-wise, she is a bit weak. Support-wise, she's really good, but damage-wise, she's a bit weak. And I was somewhat hoping her damaging abilities would be a little better. I was hoping she'd be closer to, you know, just like have a lot more damage. But like Kazuha has some really good damage output and really good support abilities. And so we'll see when she gets fully maxed out. Again, she isn't quite 90 yet. She's 86. And I don't have her skills at 10, which I will be doing. So, and honestly, I do expect to get some major buffs, because this is the second time we've seen the Chinese players get so mad and complain. And last time they did that, Zhongli got a buff. So it is very likely that, you know, at least if they buff her, I'm hoping that they remove or lower the cooldown on gaining stacks from using gaining energy, and maybe increase the amount you gain from stacks, just so that it is possible to go through rotation and get all the energy you need. I mean, even if I can't just go ultimate, if I can go to Raiden, pop her E, go to Zhongli, pop his shield, get energy, go to Rosaria, use hers, get energy, go to Kazuha, use his, get energy. So I've already got 6 energy there from that usage, and then pop all of the ultimates to give me, you know, what would it be? Let's just say, like, to give me 40, that's 46, or at least give me 50. Like, if I can hit 50 in one rotation, it's nice. If I don't have to keep going back and forth, that's what I want. Definitely, I mean, like, you're going to want people with short cooldowns to take advantage of that, her passive ability. But, I mean, in general, I do like her. She's going to be on my team permanently. She's definitely not Venti. Venti does not get a turn. I can't use Venti on my team all the time. Venti for me is way better on a ranged team, and I don't play ranged. So I look forward to getting a good, well, we're not going to get a good Anemo Archon, to be honest, but probably just seeing what the next Archons are and using them instead. And to eventually have a point where I have a full good team. Now, let's talk about the story. I'm really disappointed in the story. I think the story of Raiden was really poorly written. Raiden, there's really nothing likable about Raiden when you look at her story. She, she's supposed to be an Archon. She's supposed to be a god. She's supposed to be, something that's above humanity in all reality. And yet she lets something as simple as losing somebody close to her put her in a fit where she wants to pretty much tie Inazuma in solitary, and so it never changes for years. Now, I do understand that this is based off of the isolation of Japan, but the isolation of Japan made a lot more sense than what we've given in this story. The isolation of Japan was made to prevent Japan from being overtaken by European powers and Western powers, because Western powers were known to do that. They'd colonized China, they've colonized India. It was a very smart move, in all honesty, when it comes to Japan's isolation at the time. This one was not really honestly meant to protect Inazuma. Even though she says it, that's really not the fact. The fact is, it was triggered by her having an emotional problem and pretty much an emotional tantrum over losing somebody. And then knowingly dealing with the Fatui, which, yeah, Zhongli did too, but Zhongli did get something out of it. And Zhongli got what he needed, and it was for a reason. There was for a major reason of it. He wasn't just being an asshole. He wanted to, he was more like a parent, wanted to see if his children can survive without their parent, which, then he doesn't have to worry anymore, and he can move on. Which was really good, to be honest. I like Zhongli's story. Especially when you go deeper into his story and you learn more about him. I mean, Zhongli's story was really well written, and I'm really disappointed that Raiden's was not. Venti's was really well written. Venti's story was, the fact is, Venti suffered loss, but instead of doing what Raiden did, Venti learned to embrace freedom and, wanted his people to be free. Raiden didn't want to rule, really, but she didn't want anyone else to rule. And the fact that she put herself in solitude and in a meditation state and put on an automatic puppet to rule for her, with everything that happened, here's the thing. She straight up murdered Kazuha's friend. Okay? She was wrong. She was using a system that she was, and she murdered somebody because he called her out on it. And yeah, he challenged her to a duel, but let's be real. It's an Archon. She knew she was going to win regardless. So, I personally don't think there was really much for her redemption. She didn't have a redemption arc. It was more of an, oh, well, maybe it was my bad. And then more, oh, I guess I can't do what I want to do. I guess people are going to change regardless. I definitely don't think... I don't think they did her justice. I don't think she was done well. I think she's a really poorly written character. I am really not a fan of her, in all honesty. Which is sad. Because I was so excited for Raiden. Raiden was... When I found out about her, I was just so excited. I'm like, yes, Raiden is coming to Genshin. I'm so psyched for that. Yeah, it was not good. I really can't think of any part of the story that I really liked. And I think the thing that just makes them maddest is the fact that they took a character that could have been a good character and just writ her so poorly. Okay, for example, they could have said, she knew about the decree. She knew about the vision. She didn't know what it was doing, but she knew about it. It could have been different. She had locked herself away in isolation, in essence, in order to find the true meaning of eternity, so that she could find an answer for her people to lead them through, through the coming years, and left the puppet in charge to control while she was on this journey of hers, because she didn't want to leave them without a leader. And during this time period, the puppet is then sabotaged through misinformation, which then makes Raiden realize that she cannot lead, that she has to actually be proactive in governing, that I think would have been fine. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just not a fan of the story. So many parts of it I'm disappointed over. Sadly, that's just the way it's gonna be. Hopefully they do better writing on the future Archons. We still don't have, we've not seen the Archon of Fire yet. I would be really happy if that is Archer Flamestone or something. Connected to one of my characters in Honkai. I really want Vermilion Knight Eclipse to be put in this game. She would definitely be my fire unit. Like 100%. But with that said, guys, what do you think of her, Raiden? Do you think she's a good character? Did you like her story? And if you have issues with her, what are your issues? What would you change? If you're going to buff her, what would you buff? With that said, Secret Lane signing out. I'll catch you guys in the next video.